What's up, everybody? Shauna D Man here, and welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are doing great. Hope you guys have yourselves a great weekend, or guys have yourselves a great weekend, ready for the weekend. We are back with our third installment of my anime review, which is where I'm starting to get back into anime a little bit, just watching some seasons here and there, and then just wanted to talk about the ones that I found interesting. A couple of weeks ago, we did Goblin Slayer. Last week we did High School DxD, and this week we're going to roughly talk about Monster Girl Doctor, which is a series uh, that premiered television wise in 2020. So it's been almost 6 years since this show had been out. I came across it again because of TikTok. So I really like this show. Like, so far, some of the anime stuff that I have watched recently, I have really liked, and I think particularly to like the fantasy side of things that I really like. Like in this particular show, in this world, you have humans and monsters, whether it's centaurs, cyclops, harpies, mermaids, um, dragons, golems, or I guess golems. I guess you would pronounce them golems. They all live together, and in this, the show revolves around a human doctor named Dr. Glenn, uh, who just goes around treating patients. Basically, just what a doctor does. There's the season one. There's only one season right now that has not been renewed for a second season. Don't really know if there will be a second season. But basically, with this series, to me, it felt like there wasn't like a full episode 1 to episode 12, 13 plot line. Like, there wasn't no, oh, a Dragon Lord has returned and vowed to destroy the world, so we have an entire season 1 to go and defeat him. It just felt very episodic, with like 2 or 3 episodes revolving around a specific thing. So, like, for instance, in one of the episodes, you have it to where they travel to this village full of harpies. Dr. Glenn and his assistant nurse Sapphee. Now, Sapphee is what was she described as? Let me see. I have it right here because there's so many names in this show to try to keep track of. Um, she's a rare albino Lamia. I can't pronounce. I forgot how they pronounced it, but she's like a rare kind of snake. Um, I want to say Lamia. That might be right. But anyway, so they travel to this village full of harpies. To Dr. Glenn is gonna treat these villagers and stuff like that. He comes across one because she can't fly. Now, interesting enough, she in a previous episode there was a little of a plot line going on where there was these smugglers stealing harpy eggs and selling them on the black market for stuff like that. She was one of those characters that we met in the early season, and I'm just specifically talking about how this show works. Um, but one of the characters, let's see, I think Lily, or yeah, I think it's Lily. I think that's how I pronounce her name, or Illy. I think it's Illy. But sorry, the name pronunciations are always getting me. But she turns, so this particular character, she's a harpy, and for some reason she can't fly. Now, what we come to learn through Dr. Glenn's diagnosis and things like that of the patient, she has phoenix blood in her, and so her wings are going to be like kind of like these rainbow colored wings and stuff like that. So it's just small stuff like that. It's just throughout each of these episodes, there is just these case by case type of things where, oh, there's a giant that lives outside of the Harpy village that's making its way to the village because it heard there was a doctor there, and the giant has a cold. So Dr. Glenn has to, do what he can to help her. Um, each of the characters are very fun. it is not very sexual, but they, I mean, obviously has like some of these. What's the best way to put it? Kind of like these sexual moments where, like for instance, there's one where one of the, what was her name? They're the assistants to Miss Thesea. I don't know if, let me see if they have her name, their names here. Thesea is a uh is a centaur. She has two assistants, Kay and Lorna. I believe, if I remember right, I want to say it was Kay. Like there's like toward like one of the episodes, they're still in the Harpy village. This is still going on during that time, but like I think it was Kay. She was having trouble like sense of direction because she didn't have Lorna, because Lorna got injured earlier in the episode, and so she was just having trouble. Basically, Dr. Glenn figures out what's going on, and it turns into this like BDSM kind of stuff because he like has her tied up, blindfolded, and she she's into bondage basically, and so it was a very interesting thing to watch. There's one where you have Lulala, who is a mermaid, um, who's basically in financial trouble, and she stays out of the water for too long, and so her gills aren't getting, because she's a mermaid, she needs to spend more of her time in the water, obviously. Um, and so that's one of those cases. The one of the real ones about the season is with Lady Draconis, who, from the lore in the show, there are moments where dragons came in to stop the war, and some took on the form of humans, and Lady Draconis was one of them. She has an assistant, or a golem, or sorry, golem, named Kuanai, and this is probably where like I mentioned how I came across this show on TikTok. Was it was a scene where Dr. Glenn was basically patching up uh, Kurina because she had her leg chopped off by like a random dude. This was during the whole arc of them trying to find the smugglers who was like stealing harpy eggs and stuff like that. Um, but she has a heart, basically a heart condition, to where like she's basically gonna die. So she doesn't want to be, you know, worked on. She doesn't want to have surgery, but Dr. Glenn continuously tries to convince her. Not only Dr. Glenn, but also, what was her name? Let me see if I can find her name real quick. Hmm. Dr. Cthulhy, who taught both um, Sapphee and Glenn at university, because Dr. Cthulhy had been trying to find ways to cure Lady Draconis because they've been friends for years, but obviously she can't really think of anything. There is one way to do it, but it is very dangerous because like they need like very fine needles and stuff like that because dragon skin is very thick, it's very hard to get through. But Dr. Glenn is able to convince Lady Draconis to let him operate on her because he wants to save her, and she agrees to it. And he does save her life. So, and she becomes very grateful. This is like the third show where I've watched in a row where you have the male character somehow gets the attention of all the female characters, because it happened with High School DxD, with Issei, it happened with Goblin Slayer as well with some of the female characters. This one's no difference. Clearly Sapphee has feelings for Dr. Glenn, and there are moments where she gets um pretty, what's the word I want to use, intense with Dr. Glenn. I'm trying to remember what happened here, but I think she got like poisoned, and Dr. Glenn, like obviously, he saved her and everything like that. And he was saying like such nice words to her. She got very intimate with him, but obviously she like passed out afterwards, and it was just pretty funny. They have a bond with each other, Dr. Glenn and Sapphee. So like during the war, um, both sides, Dr. Glenn's side and Sapphee's side, Sapphee went and stayed with Dr. Glenn's family as a sign. Um, hey, we want to make this work. We want to make this peace treaty work and everything like that. So we're gonna let our daughter stay with in your custody for the time being until we can, just as an insurance policy and stuff like that. But what we didn't know is that Sapphee was a trained assassin apparently. So if it came down to it, they would Sapphee would kill Dr. Glenn and his family, and vice versa, because some of the staff probably had similar plans as well. If negotiations didn't go well, then they would plan on killing Sapphee in that sense as well. So it was a very interesting situation. The animation for the show, I really liked it. Very colorful. Um, as far as like character development goes, there are some characters who get some development, but like not in like in a grand sense of way. There's one that's like Sapphy's best friend. Um, uh, how do you pronounce her name? What was her name? Ariania. She's the tarantula one, the tarantula lady one. I cannot pronounce her name. Um, she like she starts to develop feelings for Dr. Glenn. Lady Thesea is developing feelings for Dr. Glenn. Lady Draconis is developing because it's funny because Lady Draconis starts calling him like big brother or something like that. Um, after like after he saved her and everything, and I actually like the design of Lady Draconis. Some of the designs were actually really really cool. I was saying Illy, her being the harpy with the phoenix blood. Her design is pretty cool. Lady Draconis' design is pretty cool. Sapphy's design is really cool. I mean, I've seen centaurs before. Obviously these are more big, big, tittified versions of them, but I've seen centaurs before. Um, there's a cyclops. What was her name? She was actually really funny. Um, let me see if I can find her name real quick. Um, mm, Dadgummit. Where did I see her name? She was Cyclops. It's too many. But she works in like a blacksmith job, and she was like other Cyclops, and she was the one that came up with the idea of like the needles to help with Lady Draconis's surgery. But yeah, it's just overall it's a really fun series. Like I've really really I like I felt the same way too after High School DxD. I want them to make another season. I really liked it, and um because at the end of the season it's very very cool or very very sweet because everybody that Dr. Glenn has essentially helped, they all stop by with like a ton of food and alcohol, and they just have like their own little party and stuff like that. It is very cool, and it definitely leads off for a future season as well in that regard. What else about this series that I liked? The voice acting was very good. I liked it. Um, I'm just so curious. I mean, just so curious on like what the future of this series could be. Now I'm not familiar with the manga, so probably those who are watching like and watching the video could probably drop in the comment section about the manga and things like that. So I'm not sure how many stories they can actually pull out of it, but this is a very unique, maybe not unique. I'm sure there's some stuff similar to it out there, but I really liked this show. I really enjoyed it. Animation was great. The voice acting was fun. The episodes were really fun. I'm trying to think if there's like anything in particular that I liked. No, I can't. Not that I could think of. But it's a fun series. It's a series that I would probably go back and rewatch for sure. But we got a lot more anime to get to, so this was only like the tipping point for us. But yeah, Monster Girl Doctor, really enjoyed the season 1. Really hope there's a season 2. But you guys can drop in the comment section, tell me what you guys think, if you liked it or not. But other than that, guys, thank you for hanging out. Thank you guys for watching. If you are new, be sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Comment below. You can also find me on the Shawnee D Man Gaming channel, Kick, Twitch, Rumble, the Nerd Talk podcast on Spotify. All that you can find down in the description below. Thank you once again for hanging out, and I will see you all in the next video. Y'all have a good one.